Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another deck profile, the standard deck profile, and this time I'll be covering a updated Nirvana deck. We do have new support for Farina. Unfortunately, I don't have the promo yet, which includes the set order that protects your Farina and also like your trickster stuff, so they don't just simply go away that easily. Because it's too new that I couldn't get any of them in Japan while they just released. So yeah, so this is a version that without that, um, and I tweak this build like kind of back to the original purpose with a little bit this and there, so you will see different parts uh, when we go through the deck profile. So let's show you guys what I have and then tell you why I'm going for this build. Right line is still the Jiva focused right line. I I am actually tempted to switch this egg into another trickster just to make sure I do have enough. I still need to test if that works. If so, I will have one more space for other cards, which in very old uh, era when we are using the old Nirvana, we actually, well, at least I myself actually use uh, Trickster as a starter. So it's still possible, but the rest of the right line I think should better keep this way so that we get this Trickster, have a chance to find our Prayer Dragon pieces so that we can just do any kind of crossover dress a lot easier, or even just getting a booster for yourself is very important. And then main deck for Trickster, you just need it. I don't see a reason you cut it below 4. You always need to have 4. And again, I'm thinking of actually putting one into the right deck, so that's another thing. And then person right, because we do need to use a lot of souls, and I can directly show you the next card, which is why we're needing that much soul, is Bow of Arena. So Bow of Arena requires you to use Soul Blast 2 to actually pop a regard. Of course, you need to actually go into crossover your states, but usually that shouldn't be a problem. He can hit hard, he can get drive checks, and you can restand it with Jiva. So if you have like whole bunch of counter blasts to actually waste, then you can just do twin drive, 2 of the single drive here. So there's a lot of things you can do. But of course, if you are actually going for that way, you usually will run out of gas. So you make sure you find the right timing to activate the gain drive check so that you can push your opponent's further. Which usually on the first attack, I won't be doing that because I will already gain power even if I don't pay the cost, kind of lost 1. And from there, I just threaten my opponent a little bit to let him drop the guard, and then palm attack through my drive checks on my Jiva, and then adjust it further with that. Or even you can just test your opponents while you haven't pulled any over trigger and they haven't yet, so you can just attack them, see if they're going to take a hit. If they luckily get a over trigger, you at least have 3 chances to get back up, finding your own over trigger at least to threaten your opponents to try to guard, right? Because sometimes if they are at 4 or maybe they're at 5, that one little tweak will just change the whole game, and that will make your opponents afraid. They will guard for it. Next, 4 of the Mira Farina. So Mirror Arena is the new card of the set where we can, when you X-overDress and appears on your circle with this card, you can choose up to 2 variant unit from your drop zone and add it as a dress base. So instead of just a Trickster and a Prayer Dragon, you can max put into Farinas. That is very cool. And the reason you are getting this much Farina into your dress base is because when this unit attacks during the battle, it will get 10k for sure, and then if you actually drop one of your variant in your dress space to the drop zone, then you choose to draw one, or you can choose to counter charge. So depending on how many variants you can add under Mirror's Varina, you can do how many times. Usually 1 or 2, because 2 is max, but usually you might just have 1 if you play this card early. So you need to be very careful what you want to do. Your Jiva will counterblast 1, and if you only have 1 choice, you probably will go for the counter charge so that you have extra counterblasts to use for the next turn. Or maybe just when you don't have counterblast, you at least have a chance to restand your Jiva with your Jiva on any of your crossover-dress units by counter charging. So choose wisely, but this card actually helps the deck a lot when you are running out of gas. That at least you can just discard a card, bring a Trickster and a Prayer Dragon back, crossover into this, pick up at least 1 Farina into the soul, then at least you can do 1 attack, 2 attack, 3 attacks, right? Without another Rega column. So still better, because in the past, if we are like spamming our counterblast and we run out of gas, we just do 3 attacks. Jiva doesn't have any like pump power skill to your front row, so that will just kind of stuck. But at least now you have a chance to just recover, and you don't care when your Mirror's Marina die, because if he dies, what you need to do is just to discard a card, bring back a Prayer Dragon and a Trickster, and you can perform another crossover dress, or maybe just do a normal overdress, right? And if you go into another Mirror Arena, then you have enough resources to do all your draw, all your counter charge stuff. So this card is needed at 4, and being able to just get a 10k free, that helps adjusting the number by a lot. And then 3 of the Garo Arena for guard restrictions. Of course, you do have like the new promo PG, not exactly new right now, but the Blitz Order PG to actually dodge this. But you have Jiva to withstand this card, so you, even if they do have, they need to use it carefully, and they can only use it once. Other than that, as long as you can adjust some weird number that usually requires your opponents to use 1 card to guard, then now they need to give you 2, or it's too big that 2 cards isn't good enough, they need to drop you a PG plus another card and discard a card. That's up to you how you adjust your power. So this card is still very annoying to your opponent, of course. Or these variants have no protection at all, that you need to be very careful. But again, when you are playing like a overdress deck, a crossover dress deck, you are not looking to protect your units at all, because you know they will have none, except one exception, but you're just not going to care basically. And then I'm running 3 arcs. Arcs is good for like early game, while you just like going into your grade 2 through your right line, get a Trickster, then you just overdress into your arcs to draw cards and plus power. After that, that's all you did, and you don't care about this card going to drop zone, because you can use your mirrors right now to just chuck it into the dress base. I don't play any other old overdress units, so you won't call anything on top of arcs. You basically just use him to draw, plus power to hit for a turn, intercept it, and then just become the base for your mirror variant. That's basically it. Just because I want to have a chance for an easier draw, because with crossover dress, we always have another problem, is we have our search and we don't see our prayer dragons at all. Then the deck is stuck. At least if you are restricted somehow, it won't simply go away. Then if you draw into an arcs, you can just overdress into arcs, and maybe you draw into the cards that you actually need, and then go into X-overDress. That's basically what's the reason I'm using this card. Because if I use other X-overDress cards, not saying they're bad, because there are some good cards as well, but the problem is it's not as easy to get draw with arcs than other foreigners, because the other ones won't get you draw except this, and you need to like create the drop zone first, which is very hard. And with arcs, you just draw to get power, you don't need to drop anything, so it's still a good card. Right. Next, into our prayer dragons. First, this Stragalio is a trickster searcher, is a is an overdress searcher or a trickster searcher, and he can revive a trickster if you X-overdress with this card, and when you appear on regular circle, you can actually fire another search for a trickster or a overdress unit, so that feeds more drop zone for you to use your mirrors right now. And you get another trickster, then you can actually do another X-overdress if you want to, or do another overdress if you want to. So this card actually helps you to thin the deck and finding the pieces you need. But of course, this card costs you a hand on one skill and a counterblast on another skill, so you need to be very careful on your resource management, which you don't have a lot of hands always, and you don't have a lot of counterblasts as always. But I still find this card very useful, especially in this kind of build that we are not using an extra trickster into our ride deck, so we can only get one guaranteed. The other one you need to find it yourself, and this card is actually helping you to do that. Okay, and then two of the Brahmada. So Brahmada isn't bad, but we use lots of counterblasts, and this also uses a counterblast. It's a plan that when you really don't have anything and you want to rotate your deck a little bit, then you use this card. Because of arcs, so I can actually cut this into two, because I don't see myself using more than once per game. It's not per turn, it's per game, because I'm only using this card like per game. Draw to ditch one, and it's a actual good prayer dragon base for me to X-overdress into, so there we are. But again, since I'm using arcs, I get to actually cut this card, while arcs actually draw me to this. I need to discard one card. That's basically it. And then two of the mirror prayer dragon. So this card is also very important. When it becomes a dress base, you can Soul Blast one, and then look at the top 7 cards of the deck and search up to 2 Farina cards, and then add one into your hand, and discard the other one and shuffle your deck. So it helps you to find any kind of Farina that you actually need, because you didn't say X-overdress or overdress Farinas, it just say Farinas. So all of these you can search, and it fits the drop so that you can use this, which is very great. And then it's simply just the PGs. Nothing too much to say about this one. Going to triggers. Dragon Empire Over Trigger. We just all love this. Withstand is always great. Sowing crit. You just need that because we Soul Blast a lot. That's basically what I need to tell. More crits. 4 of the tanky draws. I choose draw instead of fronts because we are lacking a whole bunch of hand. Even I'm using like arcs and this, I don't always get to draw, and my hand size is always small, always. So trying to recover from that, I use draw triggers. And then just 4 normal heals. I just want to keep it simple. I want shield value, I want stable shield value, and I'm going for a normal heal. Yeah. So So that's it for the deck list, and your game plan with this deck is try to overdress into this to keep drawing cards, finding all your pieces, and not to reveal that you have this, because when your opponents see you have arcs and you have mirrors right now, they probably won't think about this card at all. They will think like this is likely a hybrid deck that you are trying to use the order to keep me standing and hit. But no, we are not going for that build. We are basically going back to the basic, using mainly X-overDress to fight and just adding arcs in as a draw resources to make it simple. Yeah, so this is a little bit different to the grade 4 build, because for grade 4 the idea is different and the goal is also different. But I think it's good to sometimes go back to what Jiva actually trying to do, but not with the order that you're trying to mix like here and there, and it kind of breaks the deck balance to me. The idea itself is good, but the quality of the cards that we have is not supporting that yet. At least that's how I feel. We need to get a little bit more good support. We actually need a more stable protections for our arenas, that if we drop our whole hand to get 2 good cards out through attacks turn and cannot win from there, and what your opponents do is just like pop 2, you're dead. That's still the biggest problem of all kinds of overdress deck that we have, that we just can't do anything to save ourselves. And that's why this deck couldn't actually like get picked up by more people and to actually win more games, because we just don't have the ways to recover when our key units don't have any protection and gone. For example, with Saga, we have Prison Dragon to hit hard. You don't mind them to be gone because you do have other cards, and if your opponents pop them, you always have a way to get them back to the drop zone and you can reuse them, right? With Bastion, you just hit them hard, swing everything, and it's also just like Ufurk. You just hit them very, very hard. You don't care about your front row to be gone because you can rebuild them. You can even play your Revo Dress forms to your Riga circles if you have extra, right? With Eva, you just keep reborning your units. With Gandiva, you have a big pump that even when all of your units are gone, you just play 2 triggers down, they still hit hard. But with this deck, if those cards are gone, you are so hard to just come back. Is what I feel. So unfortunately, if you ask me if this is a good tournament deck, I would say not. But if you do want to try Jiva, try out the new deck, I think this will be a one way that you can actually try out and see if it fits you. Yeah, so do let me know if you have questions. I tested this build for a bit of time, so I do have some ideas that I think this is a better build. At least for myself, I feel more comfortable going this way. I still have to face the issues that can't be fixed yet, and probably that's what I can do right now. Yeah. Again, any questions, comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel for more deck fights, deck profile, unboxings, and all sort of things related to card games, Vanguard. That's it for me today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.